Yo ho ho ho! What's up? This is Soul King Crazzmatazz, here with the first of many character guides on Pirate Warriors 4, a Muso game which definitely follows the tradition of, let's just say, never fully exploring the potential of the movesets that are in its own game. I will definitely say that a lot of Muso games are very good at presenting the basics, but never as good at elaborating on the potential that every character in their games have. So today we're going to show off a bit of the potential that Murder Machine Killer has to offer. Now, when it comes to the DLC characters of Pirate Warriors 4, basically every character in the game, or at least in the DLC roster, has a pretty developed aerial game with a couple of exceptions, and Killer is certainly one of them. So when it comes to his special moves, I like to incorporate as many options as possible into my build that will give his air game a little more spice to it, since it's, you know, his air game in this is unfortunately only 2 moves. Now, when it comes to Killer's combos themselves, he follows the standard speed type tree map. He's got 8 lights with a multitude of branching heavy strings attached to them. And then with that, he has a multitude of very powerful knockbacks at his disposal and a lot of fast attacks without a whole lot of armor breaking options. But he really doesn't need a lot of armor breaking options either, because a lot of his moves will just deal enough chip damage to armor to the point where it won't last long. It's very similar to Robin in that way. So let's jump right on in there. We'll start with his standard 8 hit string. Pretty solid variation there. It's not too strong, has a pretty good projectile attached to the end of it. Let's check out his light heavy attack. One of his better options for sure. It closes the gap between him and his opponents very quickly, creates a lot of knockback. And then there's his light heavy, creates this little twister. Even if you get grabbed around like that or knocked back, his twister lingers and does a bit of chip damage. Pretty good combo engine there. And then you have his light. Oh, come on, Jozu. Don't be doing this to me. I'm trying to demo a combo video here. You'll have his light, heavy. Alright, let's get out of this room. There's too many enemies here. This is perfect. Alright. So his light, heavy move. It's a nice little aerial option, or rather knocks them into the air. Light, heavy, into his launcher. Light, heavy. One of a nice little basic variation there. Then you have light, heavy. Yes. Oh my god, did Joseph follow me? Get out of here. It's a nice little variation. His light, heavy. Has a nice projectile attached to the end of it. Has a lot of knockback. It's fast. Comes out fast, does a good bit of damage. And then there's his light, heavy. Not a great move, but it does have a cool little bit of flair to it. And it does allow him a little bit of momentum into his combos, but if we're looking at maximum momentum on his moves, 1, 2, 3, 4 lights and heavy is my favorite go-to. so that you don't have to worry about your named targets going and triggering their full force burst on you. And then you have your light, 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 heavy. This move is pretty interesting. It groups targets, pulls them towards you, and creates a lot of knockback at the end of it. Pretty solid move. Big fan of it. But the timing with that one is key because it does take a while to come out, and by the time you chip away an enemy's armor, there's a high chance that they'll just burst and interrupt it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights, and a heavy will make this move, which is just a great crowd clearer. Also takes a while to come out, but it'll just destroy a whole bunch of enemies real quick. Yeah, that's another reason. His 5-string move, the one I was showing earlier, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light, heavy. His 5-string is just... It's really only going to knock enemies back, but it doesn't even kill. And see what I mean? Like, that's what just happened. It just got interrupted there for trying to combo into it. Whereas this move here just kills everything. You love to see it. That's what you want. So, if you're going for a long combo string with him, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for just generating a high kill count quickly, you'll want to go for a 7-string. If you want to generate a nice combo, you'll want to go into his 6-string and then interrupt it with one of his specials in order to generate a nice little area of effect going for you. Alright, so now let's get into how you incorporate his air game. So the easiest way to generate air game for him is to go into his 3-string. 1, 2, 3. Heavy. Launcher. Light. Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3. Heavy. Jump. Light. Heavy. Very basic aerial combo with him. Allows you to combo out of it. Let's do it again, just for good measure. Oh, I forgot to show off his standard heavy attack as well, which is possibly one of his best crowd control moves that he has in his kit. He creates a few after images. They go nuts. And what's really nice about it, very little end lag, so you can just spam it over and over again very efficiently. It'll get you a nice amount of meter for a lot of your specials. It comes out of a lot of his combos really efficiently. Like so. Now, with my build, I really like the following specials on him. Gale Cutter comes out in the air really fast, knocks him back to the ground, and sets up for an aerial heavy really nicely. So here you do a 1, 2, 3, aerial, jump, light, Gale Cutter, heavy, 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 heavy. And you can just spam that heavy a couple times just to get some crowd control going in there. He's got some interesting air potential on him, but it's very limited. 3, 4. I also like his spin kick because this also combos very nicely at the end of basically every combo he has. Has a lot of chip damage on it. It maintains momentum and prevents your enemies from bursting on you, as long as their armor is broken. 4. So you're seeing how my kit, in terms of the specials I have equipped, really maximizes his ground game into a short aerial game. It's short but sweet. because it gets him right back on the ground where he excels. Essentially, your air game is going to be designed to disrupt enemies. And then set you up for more combo. And also, the last hit on Gale Cutter is really nice. I'm sure you've noticed it by now. We'll implement that again. Okay, guys. I said we'll implement it again. Don't make me embarrassed on stream. So, it knocks them down. Oh, I didn't even catch anyone with that. Come on, guys. These Frankie family goons are just a real pain. Let's try this again. Alright, so the last hit on Gale Cutter, as you just saw there, it smacks enemies back down on the ground, allowing you to follow up really nicely out of it. Unless you get a Frankie family guy on your ass. Alright, for future character guides, I'm definitely going to be doing a different mission so I don't have to deal with these Frankie family shenanigans. Alright. So right now, Killer's ground game is where he excels. I like to start out his ground combos typically with either a standard heavy or with his light heavy string, which gives him that nice dash. And then you can either combo out of the air with it, or if you're still on the ground by the time it's done, you can go into his 4 string, into his longer strings once their armor is broken, six, 7. This will generate a lot of hits, and then you just keep it coming with the spin dash kick. And you just keep it going. Now, one technique I'm going to show off here real quick. I'm just going to drain my stamina to show this off. When you trigger your full force burst after you've run out of stamina, or after you've used stamina in general, triggering full force burst will instantly refill it. And this is true for all characters, this is true for all character types. It's extremely powerful, basically for everyone, and it might be the most powerful function of your full force burst, is that it'll allow you to essentially generate an infinite combo string. Because you can also end it prematurely. And by triggering it just to refill your stamina, you can do whatever you want with your stamina at all times without worrying about burning out, because you can just trigger full force burst again, refill it, keep the combo going. And by interrupting it, ensure a nice momentum where you don't have to worry about any resistance whatsoever. But this is really for, like, if you're concerned about, like, speedrunning, right? This is more advanced tech that isn't really necessary, I would say. And if you really just want to have a good time, you don't have to worry about canceling out of your full force burst early, because you're going to get it back real fast either way. But it's just a habit I've developed to make sure that my combos are efficient. 4 into this hit. Seven. Ooh, his light string. Wait, let's do that again on a full health enemy. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, let's do that on you. That's not a bad bit of damage, actually. I might have misjudged the amount of damage that move does. Never mind. No, I didn't. He's got better options for sure. Alright, so now that we've gone through his bread and butter, I like to take a second just to go over every character's skills that I've equipped. Although largely, there will always be 4 skills that I have on every single character, no matter who they are. And that's Hero Strength, Full Force Burst Enhancement, Cheat Death, and Hidden Resolve. Well, technically Hidden Resolve, it'll be a variation of either Hidden Resolve or Burning Resolve, whichever one fits better. For the most part, for my builds, Hidden Resolve is the one that I use the most, but there's a few characters like Akainu and I think Fujitora as well, where I use Burning Resolve, where I favor those because certain characters in the game... Here, let me just... So, Hidden Resolve, right? Hidden Resolve will restore some of your stamina whenever you use a special skill, and it restores a favorably high amount. It's kind of awesome, actually. And if you have a character like Killer, who has specials that come back really fast, then you want Hidden Resolve. It's going to give you a lot of stamina. It's going to allow your combos to maintain their momentum so that you never have to worry about your opponents reacting. And that's really what you want out of a combo, is to ensure that your opponents can't react to it. Airborne Adept is another powerful option for characters who have decent aerial options for them, but with Killer, your aerial options are really just going to be used for disruption rather than damage. Undying, I would say, is a strong skill to use when you're new to the game, because it's going to give you an unbelievable defensive boost when your health is low. However, by the time you've played this game long enough where you're good with everyone, you won't need Undying, because you will know exactly how to stay alive, for the most part. I mean, I've died, don't get me wrong, I've definitely died as well, but that's just because I take unnecessary risks with a lot of my builds. And sometimes you just need to grab that health item, you know? Sometimes you just need to keep your health at a certain threshold. So with Killer, I like to use Power Overwhelming, because for the most part, Killer does lack the ability to break armor gauges in a very efficient way. Like, he's not Robin. He's got Robin-esque properties to his attacks, but not to the same severity that Robin has. And frankly, most of the roster has this problem where their armor breaking is limited, so Power Overwhelming is also a very good option to have as well. Giant Killer, I would recommend, but it's such a situational skill. It really is very situational, and in my opinion, it might not be as worthwhile to use. Okay, so back to my original point, illustrating the difference between Hidden Resolve and Burning Resolve. So that launching attack, where you'll interrupt a combo with your jump, Burning Resolve will add another property onto that onto that launching interrupt where it will restore some of your stamina in a very similar manner to Hidden Resolve. This can be useful on certain characters where you're going to be spamming their launch into a immediate ground pound. But other than that, it's a very situational skill where it might be overkill on certain characters and it might not be necessary on others. You know, concentration, I might end up putting concentration on Killer over Giant Fist. I'll have to look into his smash properties. Giant Fist is a very powerful option because it strengthens all of your knockback moves by 30%. Although specifically it only strengthens the knockback itself and not the damage attached to it, if that makes sense. So the knockback has its own damage property that's separate from the attack that delivered the knockback. It's a confusing distinction, but it's still powerful to have on certain characters. A lot of the times I used to favor resilience on my builds, which is a skill that increases the duration of your full force burst. But after playing this game enough times, you are going to get your full force burst back so fast that you're not going to need to worry about its duration at all. Alright, so let's just wrap this up with a nice demo of the build that I use. Oh, Frankie family, don't be pulling this on me now. Oh yeah, there it is. Don't have to like it. Oh, law's funny. Alright. I'm actually shocked I got an S clear time for that. That's shocking. And just for the sake of including everything about Killer, I'll briefly demo his other special skills that he has. The ones that I don't necessarily favor, but are still solid options for him. So he has Heavy Shockwave, Tornado Flicker, Godspeed Slice, and Gale Shuriken. Oh, and he does also have Gale Storm, which is another variation of his tornado attack, but he literally already has the tornado attack in his skill set, so I don't bother with it. Alright, so if you want to go purely for a ground build for Killer, some of these skills are perfectly valid options for him. Alright, so let's start with Heavy Shockwave, which is the only one in this kit other than Tornado Flicker that can be used in the air. So, on the ground, this is Heavy Shockwave. Little slow on the ground. But in the air, it's still kind of slow. And the damage on it isn't too great. Now, Gale Shuriken, on the other hand, let me tell you, it's not a bad option. And honestly, if it could be used in the air, I would probably be using it on it because it's a powerful attack. Does good damage, great chip to his armor. Let's let Jinbei's armor refill there, and we can show that off again. But like, look at this. even from a distance, it just shredded half of his armor away. And then up close. Let's go up close real quick, just to show the true potential of it. Look at that. It almost took out this guy's entire armor bar by itself. Gale Shuriken is a solid move. And then you have Godspeed Slice. Oh, come on now. See, that's what I mean, though. Long specials have a high chance of being interrupted. And the fact that Godspeed Slice is limited to being used on the ground only is what really prevents me from wanting to use it. But it's a pretty solid attack. And especially with your full force burst going, it can really maintain some solid momentum. But again, it's that limitation to being on the ground only that prevents me from wanting to use it. And then this is Tornado Flicker, just to show off the usefulness of having it in the air. So yeah, those are all of his other options he has going for him. The build I have is the one I favor, mainly because, again, you want this balance of shredding them on the ground with damage, and then disrupting them in the air to ensure that they stay in your combo. It's a very basic build, but unfortunately that is the option that this character has going for him, unfortunately. Alright. Let's just demo him one more time to wrap up this build. We'll really put it to the test here. Let's see if we can shred Burgess without him bursting. I think we do. No, we don't. Almost did, though. But you get the idea. And that's Killer in a nutshell. My next build that I'll be working on will be for his captain, Useless Captain Kidd, another woefully underdeveloped character with a lot of potential to him that is just very, very difficult to discover on a first glance. Till next time.